What if the unsettling feeling you've been carrying, the quiet sense that something in your life is off, isn't confusion, but the first real truth your consciousness has ever tried to show you? What if the reason you feel out of rhythm with your own world, the reason you sense patterns no one else seems to notice, the reason your emotions have been shifting without explanation, is because your awareness has started to rise beyond the limits of the reality you were conditioned to accept before? You look around, pause for a moment. Don't rely on your eyes. They only show you the surface. Instead, listen with the deeper part of you, the part that feels vibration before you understand it, the part that senses frequency even in silence, the part that recognizes the hidden architecture of your life, the reality beneath the reality. Have you felt it lately? That strange pull in your chest, that sudden intensity in your intuition, the repeated numbers, the recurring thoughts, the emotions rising from your subconscious as if something inside you is trying to break through. That isn't coincidence. That isn't imagination. That is the quantum field pressing against your awareness, trying to wake you from a version of reality that was never designed for your full consciousness. For your entire life, you were taught to believe in a world that is linear, predictable, external, and fixed. A world where events happen to you. A world where consciousness is passive. A world where you are just a small observer trapped inside something bigger than you. But the part of you that has always felt different, the part of you that senses more than others, the part of you that refuses to accept the world at face value, that part is your quantum consciousness, and it's been whispering the truth your whole life. Most people ignore that whisper. They blame stress, they blame exhaustion, they blame overthinking, but you didn't. You couldn't, because once the awakening begins, you cannot shrink back into the version of yourself you were before. Your perception expands, your emotions sharpen, your subconscious mind begins pushing old frequencies to the surface. The hidden reality begins to reveal itself. You experience the glitch, the crack, the moment the simulation flickers just long enough for you to sense the deeper truth beneath it. Suddenly, time feels different. People feel different. You feel different. It's as if the old identity, the one built from fear, patterns, expectations, and emotional programming, has begun dissolving, and something far more aware, far more aligned, far more true is emerging from within you. Your emotions are louder because they're signals. Your intuition is sharper because your frequency is rising. Your restlessness is not instability. It's your spiritual awakening, the early vibration of a deeper consciousness waking up inside you. And if you've ever felt, even for a moment, that life is more than what you see, that there is a hidden reality behind this one, that you were meant to understand something deeper, then you're exactly where you need to be, because the truth is simple. Your reality is not fixed. Your reality is not solid. Your reality is not separate from you. It is shaped by your frequency. It is formed by your subconscious mind. It is built from the vibration you carry, even when you don't realize it. And you didn't find this message by accident. You were drawn here by resonance, by alignment, by a shift happening inside you that you can no longer ignore. Stay with me, because what you are about to discover will change the way you see every thought, every emotion, every coincidence that has ever happened in your life. At the end of this video, you will understand the exact signal the universe is sending you right now. Before we go any deeper, I want to ask you for something simple and intentional. Nothing dramatic, nothing forced, just an honest moment of connection between you and the space we're building here together. If, in the past few days, you felt something shifting inside you, if your intuition has been louder than usual, if life has felt slightly out of alignment, almost as if something within you is rearranging itself, then take a moment and leave a comment saying, "I am awakening." Not for me, not for the algorithm, but as a way of acknowledging the movement happening within your own consciousness. Your comment sends a signal, not just digitally, but energetically. It tells this community, and the system that delivers this message to others, that something real is happening here. And when more of us acknowledge that shift, it becomes easier for others to recognize their own awakening too. And if this message resonates with you so far, if you feel seen or understood in a way you haven't felt in a long time, you're welcome to like the video and subscribe. Not out of urgency, but because every time this space grows, more people gain access to the kind of knowledge that can expand awareness and transform lives. We're building a field of consciousness here, one that supports awakening, clarity, and a deeper understanding of reality. Your engagement isn't about numbers, it's part of strengthening that field. Now take a breath, because where we're going next will take you even deeper into the truth behind what you've been feeling. And this is only the beginning. And the moment you recognize this, something inside you begins to shift. Because if your consciousness can alter the structure of your experience, then every coincidence, every strange moment of alignment, every intuitive whisper you've ever felt suddenly gains weight. This researcher wasn't witnessing magic. He was witnessing the mechanics of perception interacting with the quantum field. And without realizing it, he began mapping the hidden architecture behind every event in his life. He noticed that when he was consumed by fear, the world around him tightened. When he felt clarity, conversations changed. When he allowed himself a moment of true presence, patterns opened that he had never noticed before. What he discovered is the same truth your soul has been trying to show you. Reality is not a straight line. It is a responsive field of probabilities collapsing around the vibration you carry. And whether you realize it or not, you've felt this too. Those moments when you think of someone, and they immediately reach out. When you sense an outcome before it happens. When life almost bends to match the frequency of your internal state. These are not accidents. They are interactions. Your consciousness touching the field, and the field rearranging itself in real time. The more he paid attention, the more undeniable it became. The universe wasn't ignoring him. It was mirroring him. Life wasn't silent. It was communicating. And the only thing that kept him from seeing it earlier was the noise of his own unprocessed emotions. Because once he changed how he felt, reality shifted accordingly. And this is the moment where the illusion cracks for you as well. If your life has been heavy, chaotic, or strangely synchronized lately, it's not random. It's the first layer of awakening. It's your perception expanding beyond the limits of the old reality. And if this resonates with you even a little, breathe into it. You're not imagining the changes. You're perceiving the field more clearly than ever before. And this space exists so that we can explore these shifts together. If you feel called to anchor your presence here, take a moment to comment a simple yes. Not just to let me know you're here, but to signal to yourself and to this community that your awakening is real, valid, and unfolding at the perfect time. And if this message aligns with your inner truth, feel free to like this video and subscribe, not out of pressure, but because every action you take strengthens the field we're building together. Stay with me, because what comes next will take you deeper into the hidden mechanics of why reality responds the way it does, and what that means for the life you're about to step into. He began to notice that the more he allowed himself to feel, the more reality seemed to bend around the vibration of those emotions. It wasn't the thoughts he tried to control that shifted anything. It was the energy beneath them. And as he tested his own perception, something undeniable emerged. The world was reacting to his emotional frequency with a precision he could no longer ignore. That was the moment the first fracture appeared, not in the physical world, but in the reality he believed was solid. Because when he shifted his inner state, the outer world moved with it, as if revealing a hidden structure he had never been taught to see. He realized that the subtle tension, the repeating patterns, the strange moments of déjà vu were not random. They were signals, feedback loops from the quantum field, responding to the subconscious programs he carried without awareness. The more he suppressed his truth, the louder reality became. The more he tried to stay the same, the more life cornered him with situations designed to expose what he refused to face. And this is exactly where your own awakening begins, when the world stops acting like a coincidence and starts behaving like communication. Think about the moments in your life that keep circling back. the relationships that echo the same wounds, the opportunities that dissolve the moment fear rises, the strange timing of people appearing right when you're on the edge of change. These are not accidents. They are reflections of your inner vibration, responding through the hidden architecture of the quantum field. Every suppressed emotion generates a frequency, and that frequency becomes the blueprint of your experience. The subconscious doesn't speak in words, it speaks in energy, and reality listens. The researcher saw this with startling clarity. When he felt fear, the world constricted. When he felt clarity, possibilities emerged. When he carried unresolved emotions, the same scenarios repeated like loops in a simulation, and the moment he finally acknowledged the patterns, something shocking became obvious. He wasn't trapped in the world. He was trapped in the vibration that shaped it. The reality he lived was not punishing him, it was mirroring him, and the same is true for you. That sense of being stuck is not failure, it's feedback. The disruptions in your life are not chaos. They're signals that your consciousness is shifting faster than your old identity can hold. The sensation that something is off, the recurring signs, the strange synchronicities, these are all evidence that your perception is expanding beyond the version of reality you were conditioned to accept. You're not imagining the cracks, you're seeing through them. If this resonates with what you've been experiencing, take a conscious moment to acknowledge it. Your awareness is rising. And if you feel called to anchor this shift, leave a simple comment saying, "I refuse repetition," not as a performance, but as a declaration of your new vibration. And yes, it also helps this message reach others who are waking up just like you. Like and subscribe only if doing so feels aligned with your own expansion of consciousness, because engagement here is part of strengthening a community built on presence, energy, and awareness. Now stay with me, because the next layer goes deeper. This is the moment when reality doesn't just fracture, it begins to break open. And when that old version of reality began to collapse around him, something extraordinary happened. What he once believed were losses started revealing themselves as alignments. The relationships that fell apart were the ones built on the vibration he no longer carried. The doors that closed were pathways meant for the person he used to be, not the one he was becoming. Every breakdown he feared was actually a recalibration of the quantum field, rearranging itself around the expansion of his consciousness. The collapse was not destruction, it was exposure. It was the hidden architecture of his life, finally revealing the truth that had been there all along. Reality only breaks when you outgrow it. This is why your own life has felt unstable. When the subconscious mind shifts, the external world follows. When your vibration rises, anything built on an old frequency must fall away. This is not failure. This is not punishment. This is the moment your inner world becomes too large for the identity you've been living in. You begin to sense possibilities that didn't exist before. Your perception sharpens, your awareness expands, and as the layers of your old self dissolve, the universe stops responding to who you were and begins responding to who you are becoming. The researcher realized that the pain he once resisted was not an obstacle, but a doorway. Every memory he tried to bury carried a frequency that shaped his reality. And when he finally released the resistance to those emotions, the entire code of his life rewrote itself. Gratitude became a form of liberation. Acceptance became a form of power. What he once called suffering became the key that unlocked his awakening. And once he saw that truth, he could no longer participate in the illusion that he was separate from his reality. The field was not something outside of him. He was inside it, shaping it with every shift in his vibration. You might not see it yet, but the same process is happening within you. The moments that feel like endings are actually openings. The people leaving your life are making space for alignment. The confusion you feel is the mind trying to understand a transformation that can only be felt, not explained. And the reason everything feels so intense is because your consciousness is expanding faster than your old identity can adapt. You're not losing control. You're losing the version of yourself that was built to survive in a reality you no longer resonate with. As perception expands, the veil begins to thin. Hidden truths rise to the surface. Synchronicities increase, patterns become visible, and suddenly the world you once accepted without question begins to feel transparent, fragile, almost holographic. This is the threshold where awakening becomes irreversible, where the old world cracks open and something ancient within you begins to emerge. You can feel it in your chest, in the silence between your thoughts, in the strange familiarity of this exact moment. You are not imagining the shift. You are experiencing the collapse of the matrix of your former self. If you feel something moving inside you as you hear this, if these words mirror what you've been living quietly, privately, take a moment to anchor that awareness. Share your presence with this community. Write, "I am ready for the new," in the comments as a conscious declaration of your expansion. Not for validation, not for performance, but to mark the vibration you are stepping into. And if this message aligns with your awakening, feel free to like and subscribe so this field of awareness can continue to grow and support those who are rising with you. Stay with me, because the next part reveals what happens when the collapse is complete and a new reality begins to form around your frequency. And when you begin to sense that calling rising inside you, something subtle but powerful starts shifting in the background of your awareness. It feels like an inner pressure, gentle but constant, as if your higher consciousness were pushing against the walls of the life you once fit into. You start noticing that the things you used to tolerate now feel heavy, and the things that never made sense suddenly demand your attention. This isn't restlessness or confusion. It's the expansion of consciousness reorganizing your perception. The quantum field responds the moment your frequency changes, and everything around you begins rearranging itself to match the vibration of who you're becoming, not who you were. That's why the world feels different even when nothing obvious has changed. Your mind is still catching up to what your energy already knows. The deeper truth is that the calling you feel isn't coming from outside. It isn't a message from the sky or a sign hidden in some mystical symbol. It is the voice of your own quantum consciousness rising from the subconscious mind, breaking through layers of old programming, trying to guide you toward the version of reality aligned with your true frequency. This is why the same thoughts return at night, why emotions you thought you buried resurface with precision, why synchronicities appear at the exact moment you start doubting yourself. The field is communicating with you through resonance, not words, and the more you listen, the clearer the hidden reality beneath your life becomes. You may feel pulled toward something you cannot name yet, a purpose that hasn't revealed its shape, but is unmistakable in its presence. This is the stage where the awakening becomes irreversible. You no longer see the world as a fixed structure, but as a mirror responding to the energy you emit. Your perception becomes more sensitive to shifts in vibration, more aware of patterns that once passed unnoticed, more attuned to the subtle signals the quantum field uses to guide your path. And even when you try to dismiss it, the feeling remains, growing stronger each day. Because once consciousness expands, it refuses to shrink back into the illusion of limitation. You begin to recognize that the hidden reality you always sensed wasn't a fantasy. It was the truth, waiting for your awareness to reach a frequency capable of perceiving it. The inner voice you've been hearing is not imagination. It is guidance. The pull in your chest is not anxiety. It is alignment. And the sense that something is approaching, something meaningful and transformative, is not coincidence. It is the next stage of your awakening preparing to unfold. As you move deeper into this expansion, you notice your intuition sharpening. You sense things before they happen. Your dreams feel more vivid, more symbolic, more connected. Certain people feel energetically loud while others feel strangely distant. You start to understand that your perception is reorganizing itself to navigate a new level of reality, one that has always existed beneath the surface but was hidden behind old layers of fear, doubt, and emotional conditioning. This shift is the bridge between who you were and who you are becoming. It is the moment where the subconscious mind begins aligning with a higher frequency, opening a doorway into a more intelligent, more coherent version of reality. You're not imagining the presence of something calling you forward. You're not exaggerating the feeling that your life is preparing to shift. What you're sensing is the activation of a deeper trajectory, a path uniquely designed for your vibration, your perception, your consciousness. The field is preparing you for a phase of awakening that goes far beyond signs and synchronicities. It moves into purpose, direction, coherence. If any part of this resonates with the truth you feel inside, anchor your presence here before moving to the next part. Share a comment that reflects your inner state. Write, "I awaken," or "I see beyond," or "I am expanding." These words are not just engagement, they are declarations of frequency, markers of your transformation, signals to the subconscious that you are ready to step into what comes next. And you'll want to be here for the next video, because the moment we cross through this threshold, the real reason behind your spiritual calling begins to reveal itself. And now that you've reached this point, standing on the edge between what you once believed and what you are beginning to remember, I want you to take a moment and really feel what shifted inside you. Awareness like this doesn't come often, and it doesn't arrive by accident. When something in your consciousness expands, it needs continuity, it needs intention, it needs a space where the frequency can stabilize and grow. That is why this community exists, to give structure to the expansion you are experiencing, to offer clarity where confusion once lived, and to make sure you don't walk through this awakening alone. If this message resonated with you, if you felt even a small movement in your perception, consider supporting this space with intention. When you like this video, when you subscribe, when you share it with someone who may be feeling the same shift, you are not just helping a channel. You are helping this knowledge reach more people who are searching for understanding, alignment, and a deeper connection to the field. Engagement here is part of the energetic exchange that keeps this work alive, and it allows more people to access teachings that can genuinely expand their consciousness. Before you go, anchor what you felt. Leave a comment with a phrase that reflects your state of awakening. You can write, "I awaken," or "I continue," or "I see beyond." Let it be a declaration of presence, a signal that you are choosing to stay aware as your perception opens. Your words are part of the field we build together, and they help others recognize the same truth unfolding within themselves. Now breathe, stay connected, and move forward with intention. Because the next video takes you deeper into the real reason you've been feeling that inner calling, why it grows stronger, why it refuses to fade, and what it is leading you toward. When you're ready, step through to the next part of this journey. The portal is open, and the truth waiting for you there is the one your consciousness has been preparing to receive.